Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another gadget I think you're going to find pretty interesting. It's the Ring Video Doorbell Pro, which is essentially a security, surveillance, and communication system for your front porch. Now, I know that sounds complicated, but I promise you this thing is drop dead simple to install. Essentially what you're doing is replacing an existing doorbell with this device, and then you'll have a full view of your front porch, as well as two-way communications with anybody standing at your door. When they push the doorbell to ring, it'll actually ring your doorbell in the house, and you'll get a notice on your phone that there's somebody at the front door, and that even works if you're away from your home. And immediately you can bring up an image of who it is standing there. You can have a conversation with them. You can record the footage of somebody coming up on your porch, dropping off a package, or even walking by on the sidewalk because it's got motion detection built in. What I love about this product so much is that it is so simple to install. It'll take you about 30 minutes with a screwdriver to put this thing in, so it's something that pretty much every homeowner can install on their own and not have to worry about bringing in some kind of complicated service person to do the installation for you, and it just does a wonderful job. Now, if you don't know who Ring is, they've been around quite a while. They actually started as a single inventor on one of the Shark Tank episodes, and I remember watching that episode thinking, he's invented a video doorbell. That's a very cool device. This was years ago, and that's blossomed into a giant company that makes a ton of different surveillance products for your home that are really simple to use and all work together really well. But just in the doorbell space, they make 5 different models. They make the Video Doorbell, Video Doorbell 2, the Video Doorbell Pro, which is the one I have here. There's an Elite version. There's even one called the Door View Cam, which you can replace a peephole with for apartments that's battery powered, that gives you a really nice wide view that you can record of the hallway. So they're really into a lot of different things. I chose the Video Doorbell Pro because I wanted it to be hardwired. I also wanted it to have a Wi-Fi connection, and I wanted high resolution 1080p video, and this does all of those for me. It also gives me the ability to set different motion zones outside because I may not want it going on if somebody's walking across the street. I may want to zero in on a little closer to the porch, but I'm definitely going to want it to record any kind of motion on my porch to let me know that one of the carriers has dropped off a package so I can go out there and get it, or have the kids go out there and get it. So what I'm going to do in this clip is a quick unboxing and show you what comes with the kit, because I've looked at it already and I've installed these before. You will be insanely prepared to install this thing. They include everything you could possibly need to install this on any home out there. I would be surprised if you had trouble without, adding tools to it, because everything in this kit makes it super simple to install. So I'll do an unboxing, show you all the different parts that come with it. If you go with the Pro version, you get 3 different colors or 4 different colors of faceplates, so it'll match almost any decor in the home, and you can snap those on very easily. Because it's hardwired, you don't have to worry about batteries. Some of the other models use rechargeable batteries or replaceable batteries. This one's wired into your home, so if you've got a doorbell that has a light on it, you've got voltage to that doorbell, you can use this particular product. I love too that they've made them smaller over the years. Originally they were fairly large doorbells, but this one in particular has got a very slim design, and it fits perfectly on the molding in front of the house. So I'm going to show you an unboxing. I'll talk a little bit about the product. I'm going to show you how to install it, just so you see just how drop dead simple it is to put in, and then I'll come back with some final conclusions. But I like talking about surveillance products that are easy to install and give you that peace of mind that you've got control over your home and your property. This product is really something that will help you avoid that horrible situation where UPS says they delivered a package, you go out there to get it and it's not there, then you're wondering what happened, right? This will let you know if it was delivered, and if it was delivered and somebody else decided they were going to take it, you'll have footage of that as well. So it's a great device for that type of thing. It's also good for keeping track of when the kids come home from school, or when friends are out, playing in the front yard. So you'll have, video of all that stuff recorded, and you can either have it directly sent to your phone, or you can upload it to the cloud. They have a very reasonable program where they can record things for you in the cloud for a very small monthly fee. So you can decide to do that or not do that depending on your budget. But next we'll get into the unboxing. Then I'll take a few minutes and show you again just how easy it is to install and come back with some conclusions. So stay tuned, we'll get into the unboxing. Now I'll do the unboxing of the Ring Video Doorbell Pro, and before I open any new product, I always like to consider the box because it tells me a lot about what the company thinks of me as a customer. It's all about customer experience, and the way they present the box is my first exposure to the product, and I think Ring has done a great job with having a nice picture of the product on the front. Lets you know it comes with 4 faceplates. They talk about the feature sets that are included in this particular model. It's got HD 1080 video, 2-way talk, advanced motion detection as I discussed before, lifetime purchase plan, hardwired installation, and Wi-Fi connection. Again, really nice presentation. On the bottom, you've got a list of the technical specifications and a list of what comes in the box, so you're not surprised. And there's a bunch of information over here where it was manufactured. Again, in the back of the box, really nice picture of the unit. Talks about all the different feature sets that the product provides. I love the fact that it comes with 4 faceplates because it'll match pretty much any decor you've got. Let's open her up. And it's one of those slide boxes where you actually slide the container out from inside. So let me get rid of the cover. Now, again, really nice box with a flip top. Opens up. The first thing you're greeted with is a really nice manual. It looks like a package full of manuals here, so we'll get into that in a minute. And then I've got a plastic protector, and you can see it's got the silver bezel on it, and there are 3 other face plates, looks like black, brown, and almond here, underneath a nice plastic protector. So let me get that guy out of the way. And these just snap on the front, so depending on what kind of home you've got and what kind of molding you've got around your door, you can use one of these to match it. I imagine you could paint it as well if you've got a very specialized color. Here's the unit itself. I'd mentioned before that it's a pretty thin unit. They've really done a great job of making these smaller over the years, and this thing is, you know, a little larger than the doorbell that's on there, obviously, but it's really not that big when you consider that it's got a 1080p camera in there, and I've got talk, and I can listen to people out there. I've got a doorbell function, obviously. That's what you're replacing, so you need it to do that, but really nice job there. So I'll have to see which of these matches. I'll probably end up with the silver or the almond because the surrounding door is white. So let me set that aside. All right, in the bottom here, it's got a little information about the product, so I'll read through that in a second. But talks about once you install your Ring Pro, all kinds of things that'll let you know if it's working, how it can connect up to the Wi-Fi. Then there's installation tools in the bottom. I'll open that in a second. Here are the 3 faceplates that I'd mentioned a second ago, so I'll set those down. And it looks like below there's some wedge mounts. That's nice that they let you know that. Wedge mount's optional. And these are used in case you've got a unique situation where you want it to face down, either face up a little bit higher, or you could flip it over and have it face down a little bit if the doorbell's pretty high in your door. You also have one that'll adjust it left and right, so you could angle it towards the door a little bit more, or maybe away from the door if it's on the right-hand side. So you've got adjustment plates, and I just think it's wonderful that these are included with the kit because, again, a lot of companies will build a product like this, and then if you need those kind of adjustments, they'll sell those to you later on, which adds to the cost of the product. So as I had mentioned at the top of this, they give you everything you could possibly need to install this thing. All right, nothing else in the bottom of the container, so let me set these aside for a minute. We'll take a closer look at the unit, and we'll take a closer look at some of the accessories that come with it. So again, the unit, really well built, looks very durable, weatherproof. It's going to be fine outside the home. Obviously, there's a screw down the bottom that holds a faceplate on, and we'll get into that when I do the installation of it. Let me set this aside. So let's see what's inside the manual package. So the first thing you're greeted with is the setup steps, and it's going to tell you to download the Ring application, install your Ring doorbell, and then scan this code, I imagine, through the application to enable it on your Wi-Fi network. Some information in here about the installation. Again, they do a great job with diagrams of how you install it, and I'll show you how to do that in a couple of minutes when I install it here in the house. But great manual there to have all the information you need. Get the most from your Ring product. You can get a Ring Protect. You can do recordings online, which is something I'm going to definitely explore. Looks like you get a free 30-day trial of that Ring Protect to actually record those things online, and then you can continue it, I'm sure, for a small fee. This is kind of cool. It's got a little window sticker there that you can put up. And again, sometimes just the sticker's enough to scare those bad guys away. That if they're looking for a house, you just don't want to be the house that they decide to break into. So having a sign up like this is something that lets them know, hey, we're recording the activity on the front porch, so don't try anything funny. All right, some more information here about testing and equipment and certification. Then you also have a retrofit here. This is an optional retrofit kit that allows you to, I guess, mount it. You can use this as a primer, sort of as a backstop for it to give it a little extra color if you want, and you can prime this. And look at that, they got a little level in there to let you know when this thing is level on the door, so that's really cool. So there's the Ring. Now let's see what's in the installation kit, because this is the part that blew me away when I was installing it for a friend of mine. I just can't get over how much stuff they include with this installation kit, because honestly, all I really need is a couple of screws to install this thing, but when I dump this out, you're going to be blown away. So look at all the stuff that comes as part of this kit. So you've got first off, they give you a really nice Ring screwdriver here that's got both a Torx on this end and a Phillips on that end. So that's something I'm going to hang on to. I got a branded Ring screwdriver there. In addition to that, they give you a drill bit. Now, what would you need a drill bit for? Well, if you're going to put it on concrete, you'll need these inserts here that'll actually go inside the concrete that you screw into. So they not only give you the drill bit to do that, which is a masonry bit, by the way, but they also include the inserts, the bushings, and the screws to screw that in. They include smaller screws if you're going into wood. And again, these are Phillips heads, so you can use that screwdriver with them. They include a connection kit with a couple of wire nuts and some extension wires. So if the wires that are coming out of the wall aren't long enough to make the connection here easily and comfortably, you can use this to extend it. This is a piece that gets installed inside your home. So wherever your doorbell is today, the part that actually rings, you'll connect this up to your doorbell, and that's called a Pro Power Kit. It actually gives you a much stronger signal to your Ring doorbell. Then there's a connection here for the back of the Ring to actually make the connection to the wires that are coming out of your house. But, you know, to me, this is just This is just somebody sitting down at the Ring factory saying, all right, let's pretend I've never installed one of these things before. What am I going to need to do this installation from the beginning to the end? Okay, well, if I'm installing it in masonry environment or concrete in the front of the house, I'm going to have to drill a hole and put some bushings in there to actually hold it. Why don't we give them a drill? What if they don't have a Phillips head screwdriver? Okay, we'll give them a Phillips head screwdriver. Well, what about the Torx security screw on the bottom to hold the plate on? They're not going to have that. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll give them a screwdriver that has Phillips and Torx on it, and they can flip it around. And it's brilliant, too, from a marketing perspective, because you're going to hang on to this in your, what I call the doodads drawer, where you keep all the extra stuff, and you're going to remember that you bought a Ring system. So overall, I was blown away by the amount of equipment they give you and the forethought they put into this when they were packing this kit up. That's why I said at the beginning, this is the type of kit that any homeowner, virtually any homeowner, can install this in about 30 minutes. It really is just that simple to install, and that's what I'm going to get to next. So stay tuned, and I'll take you outside and show you exactly how to install this Ring video doorbell kit. Once you've verified that the power is turned off for your doorbell, you can start installing your Ring. The first step requires you to remove the original doorbell. Now, I've already taken the 2 screws out that held it to the frame. I wanted to show you behind here. It seems like the wiring is very tight, but a lot of times builders will slide a little extra wiring into the frame that if you just pull gently, it may actually come out and give you a little more room to work. Now, if it doesn't come out, don't pull too hard because you don't want to break that wiring inside the frame. Take off these 2 screws with the Ring screwdriver. Again, power's off, so there's no risk of shock. Just be careful that you don't break the loop because you'll have to strip the wire and add a new loop to it. There's the second one. Okay, so once these are removed, then we can discard the old doorbell. Now on the back of the Ring doorbell, you'll see 2 screws there as well. You need to loosen those up a little bit so you can slide the wires underneath them. Don't take them out too far, the screws will actually pop out. Now it doesn't really matter which wire goes on which of these because you're using AC current here, so it doesn't really matter white goes on the right or red goes on the right. But you want to make sure that when you put it on, you want to try and have that loop follow the direction of the turn of the screw as you're tightening, and that's an old electrician's trick that I learned. So in this case, you want it to loop around this way, and that way when you tighten it, it actually pulls the wire in tighter to the base of that screw. Okay, there's the first one. Let's get the second one on. Okay, and once I tighten down on that one, that's pretty much all there is to it as far as installing the wiring. Now you'll want to stand it up, gently push that wire back into the frame, and then line it up to where you want to mount it. Now in my case, I've already pre-mounted it, so I've got 2 holes in the wood because I wanted to make sure that I got it on there straight. So let me put the screws in, and I'll show you how the cover goes on after that. So first screw on the top, into the hole, and again, you can use the same screwdriver to tighten it up because it's a Phillips head. In my case, I'm going into a wooden frame, so it's really easy. On the bottom, second screw, and I'll just cinch that one up nice and tight. Okay, that's in there. Last thing you have to do is put the cover on. Now I'm going to go with the silver one to start. I may change it to white later, or actually I may paint one. But the cover just goes on like this. You'll hear it click on. And then there's 1 security screw on the bottom that'll actually hold the cover on. And to install that, it's a specialized Torx screw, which is like a security screw. So all you do is flip the head around on the screwdriver, put the Torx screw into it, find the hole underneath, and tighten it up. And what that'll do is ensure that you don't lose this outside cover for the doorbell. And that's pretty much it for installing the outside doorbell. Now I'll go inside and show you how we install the module in the actual doorbell itself. The next step in the process involves installing the Ring Pro Power Kit inside of your doorbell unit. Very easy to do. Basically take off the cover of your doorbell. Inside you'll see 2 wires. In this case I've got a white and a red one. Both of these are power wires that actually activate the doorbell. You have 2 wires on the Ring Power Pro Kit. One of these goes under each of those contacts. You can use the Ring screwdriver to loosen 1 wire at a time. Let's start with the top one. And basically loosen it enough to slide one of the contacts, doesn't matter which one, underneath there, and then tighten the screw again. Then do the same for the bottom one. Now once you install this, you have to be a little bit careful, number 1, to not loosen the wires too much where they pop off. But more importantly, when you locate this inside your doorbell, you don't want to get it anywhere near these 2 plungers because it's a mechanical doorbell. There's a solenoid inside here that pulls back the plunger and bangs against the chime. So you want to make sure that you put this someplace where it's out of the way. This side would be good right here. You can tuck it in there. And on the bottom, there's a piece of double-sided tape. You can peel it off and stick it inside your doorbell someplace. For this installation, I'm just going to let it hang there for a minute until I verify that everything's working fine. Put the cover back on. And you're pretty much done with this section of it. Now the next step is to add the doorbell to the Ring application and register it with Ring, and I'll show you how to do that next. The folks from Ring make it really easy to activate your Video Doorbell Pro through their application, so download the application for your Android or Apple phone, and then sign on to the Ring.com website and set up an account. They'll ask you some basic questions like your email, you can set up a password, your address, and that's the account that will actually have your videos available for viewing. Once you've done that, open up the application on your phone. On the main screen, you'll see a choice of devices you can set up. Select doorbells. The next screen will have you scan the code on the box or on the back of the actual doorbell itself. I'm scanning the code on the box here. Once it gets a good picture of that, you'll see it light up with a green bar on it, and then it moves on to the next step. You can set up your doorbell based on your location. Now, I've already done this with mine, so that's why my location is in there, but yours will have a create a new location, and you'll enter in information about where you want this doorbell installed. Hit continue. The next one brings up a screen where you can actually name the doorbell. Now, in my case, I installed it on the front door, so I just hit the front door button. If you want to name it something special, you can hit the custom button and type in a name for it. The next screen is warning you to turn off your breakers. Now, if you haven't already installed your doorbell, this is a good warning to make sure that you don't get a good shock out there on the porch. So if you haven't installed your Ring doorbell at this point, turn off your breakers and do the physical installation. But in our case, we've already installed it, so I'll tap I've already installed it. The next screen will tell you how to install it in case you haven't installed it yet, but we already have, so I'll hit continue. On this screen, you can see that it asks you the type of doorbell you have. Now, there's really basically two types of doorbells. There's mechanical and digital. Mechanical's got that ding-dong sound because you've got two solenoids that are firing against chimes typically, and the newer doorbells are more digital, so they'll play some kind of melodic tune or, you know, some other sound that sounds very electronic. You can pick which of the two you have. If you're not sure, or if you don't have an existing doorbell, you can hit none. At this point, your Ring doorbell should have a rotating blue light on the front of it. Now, if it doesn't, and the cover's not on it yet, you can actually push the button on the right-hand side of it, and that'll instigate this pairing option. But once that blue light starts spinning, that means the doorbell at this point is looking for a Wi-Fi connection. Now, on your phone, it's going to say that it wants to join that particular network. What you'll need to do is go into the settings on your phone or your tablet, look for that Wi-Fi connection. It'll say that exact name. It'll be Ring with something after it. Connect to that network, and then say join. In my case, I was connected to the Wi-Fi, but you can see that down below I've got the Ring option. Once I tap that and make the connection, I'm ready to go. It's connected up to the Ring doorbell. The next screen will pop up, and it'll say to me, which Wi-Fi network do you want me to connect the Ring doorbell to? So now your phone is actually talking to the doorbell, getting it set up for connecting to your Wi-Fi network in the house. Now, I have a bunch of different choices here. Bayside Office is the closest to my front door, so that's the one I'm going to choose. Just tap on that. If there's a password on your network, you'll need to enter in that password. That's the only time you'll need to do that. Once you pair up your Ring doorbell with your home Wi-Fi network, it'll stay paired. It takes a minute or two for it to actually connect. It's going to verify the password. Once it makes that connection, you should be set. It'll come up with this congratulations screen. You know you're ready to go. Hit the continue bar. And then you might want to do an internet connection test, and this is really to make sure that it's got a good secure connection to wherever your Wi-Fi connection is in the home. And it takes a couple of seconds to do that. I'll show you what the results were for me. So I hit the start test button. It tests the connection. Again, it takes 10 or 15 seconds. And then a message pops up, success, your Ring Doorbell Pro has a solid internet connection, which really isn't a surprise because my doorbell is about 15 feet away from my Wi-Fi router. And then just hit the done button at that point and you're ready to go. Now you do have the choice here to add it to a network or to share it with other users. In my case, I've shared it with my wife and the kids, so if the doorbell rings, all of them can bring it up on their phone and see who's out there to drop off the package. But you can also skip this step, go back to it later on and add users if you want. And that's pretty much it. So here's a view from my front door in the mid-afternoon. That's a live view. And as incidents take place where people walk past or triggers take place, it'll actually come up with additional choices below where you can review those particular activities on your front porch. Now that you've installed your Ring doorbell and connected it to your home network, you're ready to start using the product. You're actually looking at me right now through the camera on the Ring doorbell. I wanted to show you just how great a quality this product can produce. But before I end the clip, there's a few settings I'd like to cover just so you're ready to go and you can customize it for your own home. So let's exit the live view by hitting the red button on the lower left-hand corner. That'll bring you back to the main menu. Now on the top of the main menu, there's two alerts that are set up there. The top one says ring alert and the bottom one says motion alert. The ring alert is triggered every time somebody pushes your doorbell. You definitely want to have that set on because when they ring the doorbell, it'll vibrate your phone or ring your phone and you can answer it. It's kind of why you installed the product in the first place. The one below it is a motion alert, and that's triggered when somebody walks through the motion zones that you have to set up on the unit. Now you have to be careful there because if you turn that on and leave it with the defaults, it's going to be triggering all the time because it's a very wide default zone that they've set up. So I'll show you how to modify that in a second. Before I do that, there's a couple of other settings on here you might want to be aware of. In the upper left-hand corner, there's one called Event History. If you tap that button, it'll bring up all the events that have taken place at your front door over the last period of time, and you can actually touch each one of those and review the footage from that. On the lower left-hand side, it said Shared Users. And shared users means you can actually share the Ring doorbell with other members of your family. So in my case, I've invited my wife, my son, my daughter, a couple other family members to be able to access the Ring doorbell. So if we're away, we can say to them, hey, there may be packages being dropped off. Can you answer the door if somebody rings it? The one you really want to pay attention to is in the center of that, and that's the motion settings. So if you tap on motion settings, up top, you've got a sensitivity setting that actually allows you to adjust it between people only, which is very insensitive, all the way up through all motion, which is incredibly sensitive. You kind of want it somewhere in the middle, or even cheat a little bit down to the left-hand side to lower that sensitivity. Otherwise, again, every time a leaf blows by, this thing's going to trigger and go off. But the really important setting is just below that. It's called Motion Zones. Just tap that. It'll bring up a live view of your camera. And what you're looking at right now is me standing in the middle of the default motion zone. You can see how wide that is. Now on my porch, I've got bushes over here and I've got trees over there. Every time the wind blows, they're moving and they trigger an alert. So my phone is vibrating constantly. What I'd suggest you do is delete that. Just tap on it and hit delete. And now you've got no motion zone set up whatsoever. Then you want to add a motion zone just by tapping the blue button. You see that blue box that popped up? That's the motion zone. You can actually define what it looks like and how big it is. Now I'm going to slide it a little bit over to the side and get it away from that bush there. So what I'm basically doing is zeroing in just on the area in front of my house where somebody might be walking. I don't want to catch those bushes. I might actually cheat a little bit further over because they're going to move a lot when the wind is blowing. But that basically puts that motion zone right in the middle of my porch. So somebody that steps up these steps is going to trigger that motion zone, and that works really well for me. So let me save that. I don't want to add another one, so I want to say done at that point. And once I'm done, then I can go back to the main menu and I can turn on motion alerts. Now because I'm in the middle of that motion zone, when I move around here, I'm not sure if it's going to trigger because it kind of knows I'm here. There you go. So it actually sees me in the middle of that motion zone, but it's not going to get falsely triggered by my bush or my tree or anything, cat running through the yard and stuff. It's got to be right here on my porch for that motion zone to go off. That's exactly what I want. So I'll leave it on at this point and it'll trigger anybody walking up on the porch dropping off a package that doesn't happen to ring the doorbell. So that's pretty much it for this clip. So if I've missed anything or you have further questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. I love this product, and like I said at the top of the clip, it's one of the simplest ways for you to protect your home. You can install it in about 30 minutes start to finish. You'll know when packages are dropped off. You can tell when the kids got home from school. It's a great security measure as well as a peace of mind kind of technology that lets you know your home is protected, at least on the front. So again, thanks so much for watching. I love putting these clips together. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I've got a ton more technology coming. So hit that subscribe button down there in the corner. That way you'll know when we put new clips up. So thanks again for watching. And until next time, happy tech.